Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 24th of August. It's 2018. And look at all these titles. Big banks crush Bitcoin. Big banks crush little banks. How big banks will crush you. Startups are coming to crush the banks, but that doesn't actually ever happen. This is an old article. Big banks and government joined forces to violently crush. Well, whether you like it or not, it's up to you. I have one sponsor that's been with me for quite a while. Noble Gold is a big company, and they go against the grain. They back up several channels, specifically mine, and this is what just happened to them. The banks literally gave them a huge smackdown. Now, these guys made this coin right here. And they've got a bank that deals specifically with this. Now, Colin's going to explain this to you more in depth, and you can listen. I try not to crush his dreams, but these guys still believe in America and hope that somehow the political system is real. I don't agree with that whatsoever at all, but the funny thing is the bank came in and completely froze all their assets. Listen to this. Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 22nd of August. It's 2018, and I am joined once again by Colin Plume from Noble Gold. Colin, what's going on? How's everything? How close to your house are the wildfires?
Pretty close. I mean, you can see them. You can certain days you can kind of smell everything that's happening. But I mean, it's a regular occurrence nowadays. I don't, it's happened. Pretty much happens every summer. It's unfortunate. So yeah, it's pretty devastating.
It's funny because the whole East Coast is just getting smoked with rain nonstop. Not that we couldn't use it, but we're getting some places down south are getting way more than they can use. So it's kind of
I
have my theories on that, but I'll keep those to myself. So,
yeah.
What's going on? How's it going with the Trump silver coin?
The coin is selling. It's great. Everybody that's gotten their coin's been very happy. A lot of positive feedback that we've gotten on the coin.
Yeah.
And people are coming out of everywhere. We've had people from Canada buy the coin. I've had people from Switzerland contact me to buy the coin. I was telling somebody I was surprised California is up in the top 3 states in terms of sales.
Really?
Yeah. But we get a lot in the notes. A lot of people say, don't make sure the package is nondescript so my neighbors don't know what I'm receiving. Obviously, all the packages are nondescript, so nobody's going to know what you're receiving. So, but yeah, California is up there, Texas, New York. I mean, a lot of states, a lot of people are buying them. Very happy. And then, a few people, I think aren't happy. We've got a little bit of backlash, and then Charles and I went to the bank a few weeks ago. We have a few banks. When you're in this industry, you have to make sure that you kind of spread things out for exactly this situation. And it turns out that one of the banks that we use primarily for the Trump coin has frozen our account. I actually spoke to them before I got on with you today, and they know that that's all we're doing with this account is selling the coin, and they froze our account for no reason. They haven't sent me a letter. They haven't sent me an email. The only reason I even know is that the bank manager called me and said the account's frozen. When I call, they won't give me a reason why it's frozen. And this happens in the metals industry. It happens. That's why you have to have a number of banks. Alternative investments, alternative assets, or something that the banks aren't too friendly with. And yeah, I mean, we have a pretty significant amount of money with this bank, and it's frozen for no reason. The only reason that we can think of is they're not happy with the coin. It's pretty cut and dry what we're doing with the account.
You're saying they're not happy because it doesn't have Hillary on it, like that kind of not happy?
If it had Obama, I'm sure we'd be doing a lot of business. I mean, this is a bank that's been in business for over 150 years. one of the major banks in every state, big business bank, and absolutely, they haven't. The only reason I can think of is that they're not a supporter of the president, not a supporter of businesses that align themselves with the president and selling a commemorative coin, and so, I mean, without giving me a reason, it's the only reason that I can think of. There's no other way to look at it. And I've talked to other business owners, friends of mine, that they don't tell anybody that they support the president for this exact same reason. And listen, you know more than anybody in terms of censorship, in terms of being able to speak your mind. You know firsthand that this happens more often than not.
Right, but I mean, you guys are a straight up, legitimate, straight up business. You know, I'm going to say a thriving business because of the times that we're in. People understand diversify and put as much of your assets as you can into something tangible, something you can hold and get your hands on if need be.
Yeah,
it amazes me. They haven't given you Do you have any recourse against this?
They've told me they can hold the account for up to 30 days frozen. You know, obviously we have our lawyers working on it, and nothing's business as usual. Coins are going out, orders are getting shipped. Nothing's happening. There's no issue. No client's going to feel this.
No, I'm sure. I already knew that.
Yeah, it's really just an inconvenience and a waste of time. Basically, they're just wasting our time because, you know, as soon as everything is done, we're just going to pull our funds and go to another bank. And, you know, there's a lot of banks that obviously that want our business. And, you know, the funny thing about when we set up the account, we told them what we're doing. It took us some time to get the coin. It took us about, 6 months to make sure the coin was right and get everything kind of perfect. And they knew exactly what we're doing. The only time they had an issue with us is that once the money started coming into the account, we had to start paying different things for shipping costs and employees. Once we started to move money around and start to pay for things, that's when they froze the account. They were gladly accepting the money coming in. It was just as soon as we started to pay for things going out, that's when they froze the account. And it's amazing. I think why I'm even telling people this and getting out is that, and I've told a lot of my friends this. Maybe we talked about it. You should never have all your money with one bank. I wish I could say the name of the bank, but our lawyer says at this point we can't until we move forward with any kind of some kind of lawsuit, or we have to go to court with this. So, but I think it's important to make sure that the banks, you understand that they can control your money, that you can't always get your money out the way you think you can, which is a big reason why people buy precious metals. It's a big reason we talk about being diversified. So I as a tale of caution, I tell people, make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket. Have some metals, have a few different banks with your accounts. And there's a lot of banks out there, and just make sure that you're spread out and you're protected. If this was our only account and we had to pay employee salaries and things like that, we would just have to come out of pocket. Charles and we would do that, of course. But for a normal business, I don't know how people can deal with these things when your account gets frozen. So it's just, I think we're here, Charles and I are here to say, make sure that you understand that once you put the money in there, they almost think it's their money, and you have to make sure that you're protected and you're always taking care of yourself and your family.
Well, that's the same thing. I mean, I bet you the people that were in Greece wish somebody had said that beforehand, because that's exactly what happened. They went to the ATMs and nothing happened. And it's
absolutely.
The governments of all countries are upholded to the banks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too big to fail. Remember that? How much money do we have to get? It's unbelievable. And the laws they put. Yeah.
And we've talked about Bitcoin, and everybody has an opinion on Bitcoin. Some people understand it, but I will tell you this. The one thing about Bitcoin, the reason Bitcoin was created was exactly for this situation. Bitcoin was created in 2009 because whoever created it felt that the banks were too big, they had too much power, and they wanted to have an alternative asset that was not controlled by any one party. When Bitcoin gets traded, let's say you and I traded a Bitcoin, there is independent coders that go ahead and verify that transaction. It's not like one person. It's not like anyone's in control of that network. And that's the real benefit of when these types of situations happen. You realize that having a peer-to-peer lending or peer-to-peer trading mechanism is a better way to do it, because the banks are strictly looking out for their assets. And I'll tell you this, they're using the money we have in there now. They're lending on it. They're using it. They're collecting interest. They're doing whatever they want with it until they decide to give it back to us. Or we, obviously we'll have to go to court if this continues much longer. So, I think that these are things that people need to keep in mind. And that's, it always, when people talk about Bitcoin, people that are believers in Bitcoin, this is the exact reason why Bitcoin was created, is to get away from the banks. It wasn't created for the drug dealer, which I know a lot of people have used it, or it wasn't created for the nefarious, activities of some illegal criminal. It was created for people like you and I that just want to do regular business, or, we're sending money back and forth. You're buying something from me, I'm buying something from you, and we don't want the banks involved. And that's why those cryptocurrencies were created. So it's interesting, Richie. I know you've gone through censorship. I know you've gone through, I'm sure you've had situations like this happen. You've had things happen to you. So, it's when you're not in the mainstream in terms of business, or you're vocalizing, these things are going to happen.
Right. I just didn't think it would happen to you guys. But I mean, you guys are tied up with people just like me that are constantly being censored. So I guess it kind of, I don't know, trickled uphill.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could have something with the fact that we're on YouTube, and we were on shows that say things that maybe they're not happy with. I will tell you, the fact that they haven't given us any reason, and people that are receiving the coin, they're telling us, I'm so happy you guys made this coin. I feel great that I can support the president, and some of them are giving it to friends and family, and a lot of great gifts, and so that makes us happy. But I think ultimately what it comes down to is that people want to be able to express their views. That's why we're in the United States. That's what makes this a great country. And so we shouldn't be penalized for doing business in something that's not mainstream, or saying something that doesn't fit in the mold. And I think that's the scary thing about when you see these things happen, is that, if someone's not doing exactly, what a lot of people are talking about, they're banning a lot of the marijuana and different things that are out there, a lot of the stuff. And that's, a lot of the like CBD stuff is a lot of people are getting in trouble for that. And that's, it's just because it's not in the mainstream. So, I think it just shows that you just have to make sure that you protect yourself and continue to do what we're doing, because ultimately there's a lot of people out there that want to hear what you want to say. They want to hear about alternatives. They don't want to know about the mainstream, and we have to continue to push on.
I hope that you and Charles take this as a bit of a wake up call, that you might have a bit of a gun sight on you. Because you're offering the exact thing that the Federal Reserve doesn't want people even thinking about. It's gold and silver. They just don't want people thinking about it. And the fact that the bank is the one that's putting you in a chokehold right now, and they're not even giving you. I mean, you're not some small time dude. The fact that they haven't even given you a reason yet is just them saying, this is your warning, or something. It is
interesting.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is interesting, and I think that when you look at what banks want, they make money on fees, they make money on you buying CDs, bonds, their mutual funds. They want you to do their IRA, their account. So we do sort of go against what they're trying to accomplish with their clients. They want to keep your money in either an account, where they can borrow, they can lend 10 times the amount of money that you put in. If you put $10,000 in, they're lending $100,000 on that $10,000, and they're doing it at 4 times the rate that they're paying you. They're paying you 0.25%, maybe 0.5%, and then they're lending it at 4 or 5% minimum, depending on what kind of loan it is. So, you know, they want to just keep controlling your assets. What we're talking to people about is taking your assets in control, you know, getting into gold and silver and having it at home, or, you know, having some precious metals to kind of hedge your bet, so that you don't have all your eggs in one basket. And, you know, I've had many clients in the almost 15 years I've done this. I've had many clients that have gone to the bank to send us money to buy gold and silver, and the bank has refused to send the money. Yep. Told them to, you know, try to convince them not to do it. I mean, we've had it all the time. I had a client recently, and the vice president of the bank called the client and said, no, you shouldn't do it. And the client said, this is my money. I want to do with what I want to do it. And, you know, they fought that person on it, unfortunately. So, you know, ultimately it comes down to, you have to have that perspective when you put it in there, that you don't want to, that money, you need to be able to get money or have access to some way to pay for things somewhere else in the event that they freeze your account or they hold it, or anything that can happen.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I know it sucks, but this just gave you guys a huge boost to the hardcore conspiracy theorists, because if they're locking down on you guys too, you got to be doing the right thing, believe it or not. I know that you still have a little bit of faith in everything, but it's amazing the amount of legislation, the amount of rules, the laws they put in place that make it so incredibly difficult for people to access their own money. You can't take out this certain amount or you get reported. It's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And these guys have all the money in the world, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we have, you know, tons of, you know, times the one great thing about our industry is it's one of the last private investments. That's why a lot of people call us, is because it is private. That's the beauty behind gold and silver. You own it, you hold it, it's yours, you pass it on to your kids. So that is one of the aspects. Every other place you have your money, it's real easy to follow it and track it. So, you know, I think privacy is a big reason that, you know, people get into this. They want to have something for themselves if they have to leave the country, or if, you know, let's say, you know, the grid goes down and they have to buy goods, they have to pay for food. Right. You know, these things are make it, you know, really easy to do. Gold and silver are, in my opinion, the most fungible assets out there. They make the most sense. It's easy to quantify them anywhere. You know, 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver, or whatever denomination. It's easy to figure out what it is, and that's why, you know, gold's been traded for 5,000 years. That's why it's in the Bible.
1,000 years, dude.
Yeah. So these things make sense. So, you know, you look up, it's weird. It's almost like what's happening in the economy right now is very strange. You know, Forbes came out. We've had the biggest bull run that we've had. Right now, we're having the biggest bull run just in terms of time period that we've had in over 50 years. So, you know, stock market's, you know, roaring, dollars up, everything. But yet, if you really look at things, real estate's slowing. You know, unemployment's still pretty low, but I think things are starting to shake up a little bit, and so that's why I think a lot of people are, you know, looking at diversifying. Looking at silver price is at a 7-year low. Gold is at a 3-year low right now. So in terms of buying coming in, the prices right now are just unbelievable.
In my opinion, and I mean, we'll know in a couple of months, but these guys are dying to go to war with Iran. They're dying to. If that occurs, all hell's going to break loose and the market's going to get smoked.
Absolutely. That's the first thing.
They're dying for it, Colin.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's the first thing that happens. I mean, we had some friendly meetings with North Korea. Now it looks like it's not going so well. Now we're having sanctions, real heavy sanctions on Iran, probably the heaviest sanctions we've ever seen.
It's to force a reaction, and if that doesn't work, there'll be an event of some sort. I'm putting that out there right now. I meant to make a video about it, but I haven't had a chance. Yeah, that's coming.
I agree with you. We're at a breaking point here, and listen, I think. You know, Trump, I think he's doing a good job. I think that, you know, you look at just the financial stuff that unemployment hit an all-time low, almost a 30-year low.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I'll tell you what, I don't really hold too much stock in Hillary ever since Gore and Bush. But I understand. I'll tell you what, when I looked at that coin, the Trump coin, I know it sounded funny, but you guys nailed it. You don't think that Trump is telling places to hold people's accounts because he doesn't like the fact that he's on a coin? Because he would love that, don't you think?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and it goes with what he talks about every day, is that the mainstream media has been criticizing him, has never given him a chance to kind of get out there and really put his message forward. And it's pretty much unprecedented. And that was why Charles and I wanted to put this forward, this coin out there, is because we wanted people to feel comfortable to say, yeah, you know what, I like this, I'm happy. And I think with all presidents, a lot of times, when you look at George Bush, for instance, a good example, when he was in office, he had a lot of criticism, obviously, with things went on in Iraq. But now people look at him and said, you know what, at that time, we had to kind of bunker down, make the country strong. We had a lot of things happen.
So let me ask you, what do you do? I know that you guys are kind of over a barrel right now, but number one, are you still selling the Trump coin?
We're still selling we're shipping out like no other. I mean,
I think still doing your thing, even though they're inconvenience you on one side. It hasn't affected business at all.
Yeah, coins are going out. There's no issue with shipments.
Nice.
We're working on our next coin, which I'll tell you a little bit about off the air, that we're working on, that I think people are going to like.
It's me, right? It's me on a coin.
Absolutely,
it should be. That would be perfect.
We haven't been able to find. We need to find the right illustrator to really kind of. Yeah, exactly.
You got to get all the little details. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you hit 50 and you're single, you'll see. You'll just don't care anymore.
Do you have hair or no hair? I mean, there's a lot of things we got to talk about before.
Yeah, I have hair. I always have hair. I just usually have a hat on.
Yeah.
Okay. Second thing is, any specials going on you can tell me about?
So if they go to TrumpCoin2020.com, they can save $5 a coin, which is a 15% savings per coin. That's going to
off of an ounce of silver.
Yeah, $5 off. Yeah, it's a great. All they have to do is go to the website. They just type in the name Richie. So obviously it's your people watching your show, and they'll save $5 a coin. That's going to end at the end of this month. So that promotion is just a pre-sale promotion. That'll be gone. So anyone that wants to save $5 a coin, I think what I was surprised, a lot of people are buying these now for Christmas presents. So people are buying 5, 10, 15, 20, and they're just socking them away for Christmas, which I think is smart. So that is the promotion we got going on right now. And I think once people get the coin they can hold in their hands, they're going to be pretty impressed. And I think as silver goes up, as we finalize this sale and we're done, I think 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years now down the road, people are gonna be really impressed with this coin. I think a lot of people will pay money for it because it's gonna be such a limited run.
Here's the deal to all you people that listen to me that are making faces right now because we're talking about politics. He's offering you $5 off one of these, so just buy it for the weight anyways. Who cares who's on it? It's silver.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? See how that works? I can't believe the banks did this to you, but I mean, I guess it was bound to happen, man. I mean, like I said, there's so many restrictions, and the government does. When I was a kid, when you were a kid, you go to the bank, you let them use your money, they did whatever with it, and you got paid for it because that was you giving them your money. Who else do you give your money to that just gives? I'm never giving it back to you, or they charge you money if if I pay you back, I got to charge you.
Yeah,
out of hand, man. It's absolutely out of hand. So I hope you come out of this well.
And when I call the bank and I say, how do you guys do? How is this legal? What's happening? They say, oh, we can't tell you anything. We can't. Is there anyone else I can talk? No, we can't. I mean, it's pretty much unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah. If you were on the call, Richie, you'd be pulling your hair out and just banging the walls. I mean, it's just it's crazy. So I hope this never happens to you. But that being said, coins are going out, shipments are out, and we'll be stronger for it and move on. And it just shows that it's has to do with putting politics before business, and that's really what this bank is doing, unfortunately.
Hey, real quick, how long, if somebody fills this whole form out, how long till they get their gold and silver guide usually? Is it like a week?
It's a PDF, comes out immediately.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Because you sent me a hard copy a long time ago.
Yeah, no, we can mail out them a copy too, but they get the exact same thing I received to you immediately.
My bad. I see it. All right. Cool.
Yeah, they get that automatically. Yeah, they get that. So if they buy the coin, they want the gold IRA guide, we can send them that too. We can send them a lot of good information. So
get your money out of the banks. If you have an IRA, if you have a 401k, even if you've only got $50 a month, buy something you can hold in your hand, because it happens to regular, legitimate businesses. I mean, the fact that Colin and Charles support us is awesome. I almost forgot his name. I feel like a dick.
Absolutely. No, we always support you, Richie.
It gets them in trouble, and they're a legitimate, regular business.
Being on it.
I mean,
absolutely.
You guys are so big. You print your own coins. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's cool, and I think we're going to be starting to dive into some more coins. Obviously, we'll be talking to you about the Richie coin. Hopefully, we can afford you to be able to mint that coin. And but yeah, no, it's fun, and I think people will really enjoy it once they receive it. It's the coin. It looks almost proof-like. I mean, the finish on it is incredible. So I think people are going to be really happy with the product when they receive it.
Oh, they're no pun intended. They're mint. I mean, it was flawless. The packaging, and it's incredibly securely packaged and non-discreet. So you can't go wrong with that. Your neighbors aren't going to steal it for all those folks that live in the city like I have to. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll be good to go.
Good to go.
Well, Richie, I appreciate it, man. It's always good catching up, and looking forward.
Anytime. If you want to do the same thing we did last month, that works too, man.
Okay, we'll talk soon. We'll catch up soon. All right, man. Talk to you soon. I appreciate
it. I hope that works out with the bank. Let me know.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon.
We are out.